How you doing, everyone? Juan Romero here, along with James and Jordan. We asked ourselves a question from day one until now: what were our favourite games of all time on the Nintendo Switch? We picked 5 each and also asked our community members to get involved. Now, these are the games that we enjoyed the most personally, and at the end of this video, we'd love to know what games your favourite is on the Nintendo Switch and why. James, Jordan, I'm starting off with Monster Hunter Rise. I loved Monster Hunter Generations and played hundreds of hours of it with my daughter. And James, together we loved taking down monsters, but one of the things I didn't particularly enjoy were the maps broken down into sections and the amount of time it took to gather items. And it's only when Monster Hunter Rise dropped on the Nintendo Switch that you realise what a breath of fresh air it is compared to Generations. A game made specifically for the Switch and more in line with Monster Hunter World, with a whole host of quality of life improvements. I love the fact that you can have a mount and go to parts of the map really quickly, collecting resources whilst on your mount. Catching and killing monsters feels great, and all in all, a smoother experience. My daughter James and I cannot stop playing it, and I think we'll be playing this for months, even years to come. A great game to play locally or online with friends, and the Monster Hunter fights just never get old. Gonna stay with this one a little bit longer because James, I understand that this is also your pick. Tell us why.
That's right, Juan. I'm also choosing Monster Hunter Rise because, like you, I think it is a massive upgrade from Monster Hunter Generations. What I love is how they streamline the tedious parts of the game to make it more accessible without losing the core gameplay, which made these games so special in the first place. It is a smart decision, making it perfect to pick up and play for the casual or more hardcore player.
Right, for my first pick, I'm gonna go with an indie darling. Dead Cells is an absolute stormer of a game. Action roguelike perfection. When I reviewed this, I wasn't entirely excited for it. I jumped in at the last minute when Juan had his hands full with other stuff. It was his kind of game rather than my usual, but oh my god, I am so glad that man was busy. It had been many years since I stayed up till about 2 a.m. every night for a week with this game. Incredibly addictive, satisfying gameplay. Finding the nuances, the secrets, the power-ups. Oh man, it's just distilled gaming. I never did actually manage to finish it, at least with the original content, but that didn't stop me from loving every second of it. This is an essential indie game.
Thanks very much, Jordan. Dead Cells is an absolute great game. Narita Boy is the indie game that I'm choosing. I reviewed this recently. I loved every minute of it. Something about the Tron-like visuals, fantastic synth music captured me, but then the brilliant gameplay where fighting loads of bosses and variety of enemies kept me enthralled while unlocking more and more of the memories for the story. I loved it, and if you want to know more, check out my review by clicking in that top right hand corner. All we need now, ladies and gentlemen, is a physical edition, a neon red, blue and yellow vinyl. Yes please, I would pick that up straight away.
My next pick, Super Mario Odyssey, is probably the best ever 3D platforming game, an impressive feat. Years in the making, Super Mario Odyssey introduces a new generation to the wonder of the Mario world and is extremely fun for older players too. Taking place in a large, semi-open world, each of the game's kingdoms is distinctly different, full of character, and a delight to be discovered, and let alone the amazing soundtrack, which is certainly one of the best ever to feature in a game.
Alright, let's step up the budget a little bit more, head into my personal favourite genre, JRPGs. In my opinion, while it may not be the best modern JRPG on the Switch, it is my favourite, Atelier Ryza 2. I recently reviewed this game and I absolutely loved it. It's like the first game, but better and thicker, and the original was really rather good too. What makes me love this game is the characters. While the overarching plot isn't particularly inspired, the characters and their interactions are just so charming. It has fun battles, material gathering, plenty of content, and looks and sounds gorgeous too. One of my favourite games of the year for sure, and we're still only in April. Check out my review, it's rather thick.
My next pick is Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's the game that started this very channel. James and I walked into game, we bought a Nintendo Switch and this on the day of release, and we couldn't stop playing the game until it was complete. The epitome of adventure, taking on enemies, finding towers and new puzzles to solve. I really enjoyed it, and it's one of those games that I believe set the Nintendo Switch well on its way to success. I personally cannot wait for the sequel, enjoyed all of the DLC too, and as I say, one of those games that really lives long in the memory. If you're enjoying this video so far, then why not consider subscribing and also thinking about checking out joining our YouTube membership plans, where you'll have access to our emojis, badges and the ability to take part in our videos like today. Now let's check out the rest of those picks.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps is utterly brilliant and is more of the same from Ori and the Blind Forest, but everything has been slightly improved to the point where you just think it cannot get much better than this. The game runs beautifully on the Switch. There are stunning visuals, smooth, and an outstanding soundtrack with gameplay to match. The developers have done a great job, and this is one of the best Metroidvania type games you can play along with Hollow Knight. It is a magical tale that you can enjoy either alone or with the family watching. If you want to check out the best Metroidvania games, then check out our ultimate guide by clicking at the top right hand corner.
I couldn't bring myself to have a list of my favorite Switch games without having an actual Nintendo game on it. So, while there are so many candidates, many of which my dear colleagues have chosen for themselves, I need to go with Nintendo's low-key best game on the Switch, Luigi's Mansion 3. Wow, this game is just stunning. It's polished to absolute perfection, brimming with creativity, atmosphere, charm, comedy, personality. I think it's one of the best games on the Switch. It's essential. Sure, it has one boss fight that genuinely made me want to cry because my brain couldn't function with the controls, but aside from that, I absolutely loved it.
Splatoon 2 is another Nintendo first-party title that I just could not get enough of. Who knew that teaming up with 3 others and painting the town red before the other team would be so enthralling? Still one of those games that when I want some multiplayer fun, I'll stick on today and fire it up. And with Part 3 being announced, I certainly cannot wait. And for Alolan Jojo and Jonathan Rumor, this is one of their all-time favourite Switch games.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate lives up to its name. It's the pinnacle of one of Nintendo's most beloved outputs, as their franchises duke it out in this platform brawler. Everyone is here in the most balanced entry in the series yet. Whether you're a hardcore competitor or a casual fan such as myself, there's a lot to get out of this one. I've honestly lost count of how many characters there are, and there are still many more on the way at all times. There's so much variety in fighting styles, so many options, and so many stages that it might actually be quite daunting going into this and gulping at all of the choices. But you'll quickly fall in love with this and the atypical fighting mechanics. Anyone can pick up and play, but there's also a lot of mastery and competitiveness to be had online. This is an essential purchase, and there's a reason it's currently the second best-selling Switch game of all time.
Okay, so you wouldn't think that someone who doesn't particularly like Vocaloid music would particularly like Hatsune Miku. Well, you'd be wrong, Sunshine, because Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix totally changed my mind on the whole Vocaloid scene. The game is absolutely packed with songs and incredible rhythmic gameplay. When I was playing this full review, I was in a complete trance. I absolutely loved the gameplay that accompanied the visuals with the music video feel. Honestly, I am absolutely arse-gravy at this game, but that didn't stop me loving the hell out of it. It's not quite my favorite rhythm game of all time. That would go to Theatre Rhythm on the 3DS, but it's damn near close.
Animal Crossing is my last pick, and it's on my list because of how much I enjoyed playing this with my daughter. It's one of the things that really shapes my experience now. Animal Crossing is a great game to chill out to, shaping your island how you want, expanding the museum as you catch certain bugs, fish, grow fruit, and visit your friends' islands to see what they're up to, and of course your friends visiting you. Along with the game being continuously updated with seasonal holidays like Easter or Christmas, and lots of special events to keep you going and to keep it interesting, Animal Crossing is one of those games that most of you should probably own on your Nintendo Switch.
Hades is an absolutely fantastic game. It's caught us by surprise. It is one game that we gave full marks to and is one of my favourite indie games on the Nintendo Switch. We love the Prince of the Underworld wielding mythical weapons. We love the battles and the boss battles. But it is that sweet permanent upgrade system that kept us coming back for that one more go. The game controls are so tight and it is so fun to play that you just cannot put it down. Along with the fantastic visuals and soundtrack, this has it all to make it one of those rare, perfect games. It is also the cigar trucker's pick as well.
I'm ending my picks by being totally badass. Look, there are a fair few Super Robot Wars games on the Switch right now, but there's only one that isn't an old-ass port, Super Robot Wars T. Do you want Fire Emblem, but with anime mechs? Cowboy Bebop blowing up Gundams in mind-blowingly animated attack scenes? Well, look no further. Sure, this is perhaps more style over substance, but when that style is this good, it's fine to be a little shallow. Honestly, the only bad thing about this game is how much of a pain in the arse it is to play in English. You either need to buy it from the Hong Kong eShop or import a Hong Kong or Singapore physical cartridge. Those are the only ways. Check out my review for more info on this, but man, this game is an anime fan's wet dream. If you want to get a hold of it for yourself, then there are import links below in the description with a nice little discount code to go along with it. Don't miss out, it's a belter and one of my favourite experiences on the Switch.
Team Cherry's epic adventure sees you take on the Nameless Knight's quest through Hollow Nest in a picturesque 2D Metroidvania. Killing enemies helps you gain souls, which go to your soul vessel that can be used to restore health. Everything about this one is just superb. I cannot wait for Silk Song, the much anticipated sequel to this one. Furthermore, the game boasts a range of NPCs to help you on your quest, a beautiful score, lovely visuals. It's pretty much the perfect game and I can't wait to see what comes next. Well, that was hard to distill this list down to our personal picks, but wait, there's more. Yes, we've asked the community what their favourites are, and that's coming up next. Juan, over to you.
Thanks very much, James. Let's check out some of our YouTube members' picks then. Sean Carver chose Blasphemous as their pick of their favourite game of all time on the Nintendo Switch. Definitely up there as one of the best indie games. It's tough, dark, full of monsters and boss battles, so who can argue with Sean's pick? Dragon Quest XI is God of Resin's pick. What a fantastic RPG there is here. Many hours of gameplay here to enjoy in this epic adventure, and if you're not sure, check out the demo available for download on the eShop. Most of these games are available physically, and if you want to purchase a copy using our Amazon links, that will be really helpful in supporting the channel, so thank you so much. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is Iron Zombie's pick, and of course another epic JRPG on the Nintendo Switch. And seeing as it was one of our YouTube members' picks, we thought we could sneak in a few extra picks, and who can argue with this wonderful game being on anyone's list as being their all-time favourite Switch game. Renato has picked Broforce, saying it's one game that they enjoyed with their kids more than any other. It's also the pick of Carl Salo, a run-and-gun game where up to 4 players can enjoy co-op. Octopath Traveler is Thales D's pick, and was a game that many enjoyed, where you could enjoy 8 stories from 8 differing characters, each with unique abilities to use in battle. A beautiful game and a worthy pick. And lastly, we have Elisa, who picked Immortals Phoenix Rising, which actually just featured in our bargains video this week. It has a very healthy discount right now. You play as Phoenix on a quest to save the Greek gods from a dark curse. A really great game. Thank you so much to our members for their picks. We hope you enjoyed our favourite Switch games of all time. Let us know in the comment section down below what your favourite Switch game of all time is and why. And if you've not subscribed yet, make sure you do if you don't want to miss a healthy dose of Nintendo Switch content. We also have a sweet giveaway coming soon, so stay tuned. And for those of you that want a bit more, click the blue join button for our membership packages, which include badges, emojis, the ability to become an executive producer and more. And on that note, a massive thanks to all of our members, executive producers, subscribers, watchers, and everyone who contributes to making these videos possible. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a smiley with sunglasses as the sun is finally shining here in the UK, and we'll see you soon on the next one. Take care.